My 28F boyfriend's 33M friend confided in me. Where do I go from here? I'm not one for elaborate backstories. My boyfriend's friend recently broke up with his girlfriend of 5 years because she's moved on, and he's heartbroken. He took solace in my boyfriend during this time, and I guess my boyfriend took his time to tell him a few of his concerns about our relationship, namely, he loves you. But he said he feels like he either got into the relationship too early or he's not as ready to settle down as he thought he was. I guess his friend wants to help. Now my boyfriend and I have had a few recent issues where he's admitted he's been tempted to cheat, and even took flirty pictures with another girl. She was licking his face. He met up with her under the guise of meeting up with some guy friends but was texting her when I was dropping him off, because he was going to drink and we lived together. We broke up temporarily over that and I packed up to move out, and he begged me to stay, deleted social media, stopped drinking, etc. And he's not happy apparently. I'm pretty disappointed and hurt. My boyfriend and I have been friends for 5 years and dating for 1. When we were friends he was quite the player. It was for that reason I opted not to date him period. We hooked up after a long quarantine dry spell for us both, and 3 weeks later he asked me to be his girlfriend. He asked me to move in. He has told me several times he feels like we are married already, and hints at us getting married in the future and having kids and a family. I am baffled. I try to ask if he's happy. I can tell he's not, and he just tells me he is every time. Some part of him misses that lifestyle, but he prefers this. Not to mention on our recent breakup he tried to hook up with his most recent sexual conquest as soon as he was free to. I am confused. I don't know where to go from here. I love him, but some part of me just wants to leave because it sounds like he's not as in love as he claims he is, and I'm done being settled for. Speak to your boyfriend. Sounds like the newly single friend wants his wingman back. The fact that he's hinting marriage says to me he's trying to get you to stay. I almost wonder if it's a case of, she'll never leave me, and if the other woman says no, she's the fallback. My question to you is, do you really want to pursue a relationship with trust issues and feeling as you say like he's settling? You deserve a guy who will worship you from the mountaintops, and I'm not entirely convinced in your case that this is that guy. Best of luck to you. You deserve better. You deserve better than he's ready to give you. He's a player and you guys only hooked up out of boredom due to the pandemic. He's been tempted to cheat. Those things alone are all good reasons to move on. I guess his friend wants to help. His friend wants to break up your relationship, either to have a buddy to be single with, or to try and sleep with you. Leave. That's all you need to do here really. No other advice needed. Ask him what he wants, clear things up with him. I guess, communication is the key here. It's up to you how you want to handle the BF. I say break up after what he did though, but keep your wits about you around the friend. He may love you, but he's not satisfied with you, and like it or not, he's going to cheat at some point. His friend apparently knows him better than you do. I, 28M, am having a hard time accepting my wife's, 27F, choices. My wife and I have been together for 4 years, married for 2. She already had a kid when I met her. I was always more outspoken sexually than she was, but she made it clear while we were dating that she had done a lot sexually in the past, and I was fine with that and excited to do all sorts of new things since I had not done much before meeting her. I also stated that I absolutely never wanted to have kids of my own, and she agreed that she didn't want any more kids and was on birth control, IUD. So while we're dating we are having a lot of sex but never anything other than vanilla stuff, and I'd expressed my interest previously in kinkier things and she said it would be fun. But after we moved in together it was missionary, maybe cowgirl if I was lucky. No oral, given or received despite my desire to give and receive. Then one day she comes to me with a positive pregnancy test. It literally crushed me. We were financially stable and loved each other, but neither of us wanted another kid. Hence the birth control. But she immediately accepted and decided that we were having the baby. That night. She wasn't open to any discussion on the matter. She's listened and still do what she was gonna do. I differed to her because it's her body, but made it clear I didn't want the baby. The fact that she represented herself as sexually adventurous and not wanting more kids and then both weren't true has been really hard for me to accept. I love her, but it feels like a violation of trust. Through the pregnancy, which is a major fetish of mine, I didn't get to have much sex with her since she didn't like her body even though I was mad for it. And after the baby came I liked her milky boobs, but she wouldn't let me play with those either because she didn't like them. Now our kid is 2. We got married right after kiddo was born. And I love the kid, but I'm not a good dad. And I knew I wouldn't be, and it makes me hate myself, but it also breeds feelings of resentment towards my wife which I hate having as well. It makes me not trust her. Like, how could I ever know if she got pregnant on purpose? Her sister did. So it just eats me up inside. And sex has only gotten worse. She'll occasionally offer a BJ but is so obviously not into it that it does nothing for me. So I stop her or don't let her do it in the first place. She's let me go down on her and loved it, but I basically have to beg. So in her eyes sex is only missionary, and only after the kids are asleep, specifically when she goes to bed. Not when I go to bed. That's the only time she's interested. Which isn't a time that I'm generally interested. Too long did not read. So basically we aren't lining up sexually and I'm harboring resentment and distrust towards her that I don't want to be. How do you guys trust your spouse again and let things from the past go? Thanks. Lots of counseling. Sounds like it's over at this point though. Resentment is hard to recover from. It's too late now, but get a fucking vasectomy. If you know you don't want kids, it makes no sense putting someone you claim to love through the trauma of an abortion. Sounds like you were baby trapped. It also sounds like this relationship is already over. Get some therapy and couples counseling. If that doesn't work, divorce. Even with a child, it's far better to have happy separated parents than have parents that live together and hate each other. If sexually adventurous single mother who doesn't want any kids screams marriage material to you, I have a bridge to sell. Bro, your major problem was not reading between the lines when she said she's done a lot sexually in the past. She's talking about the amount of partners, not the type of sex. When you guys discussed pregnancy, you should have asked if she'd be willing to get an abortion if she gets pregnant. Divorce. 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 You were baby trapped by a single mom. Now you're on the hook for not only your kid but her other one also. You could try to get a DNA test to see if it actually your child, since you don't trust her. Damn man, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I sort of kinda had the same situation. Took me 6 years to finally open up to my wife about my sexual desires. I knew I had to say something or I would have to cheat on her without her knowing. So I communicated with her and it all worked out for the better. Now she's very open-minded for the first time in her life. I would hate to be with someone who sexually repressed me, and believe me, sexual satisfaction is a valid point of being divorced. So here's hoping for anal. Hello, and thank you for your submission. Please take a moment to review the rules listed in our sidebar. For further guidance, please see our wiki. This is a bot message. I cannot respond to any comments. Please modmail us with any questions. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r relationship_advice if you have any questions or concerns. Learned yesterday that I have a daughter with my ex. My fiancé and I are in shock. Posted about this a couple months back. I, 30M, had a toxic ex-girlfriend years ago that I broke up with and cut off all contact because that's how badly I wanted to get away from her. She turned out to be the old friend of my fiancé. They hadn't seen each other in years and lost contact way before I started seeing my ex. She never told me she was pregnant, only after 6 years when she came back into our lives like some sick twisted chance of fate. She swore her daughter was mine. And I decided to have an honest sit-down with my fiancé to tell her exactly what my ex, her old BFF, told me. She needed a few hours away to clear her head, and I get it. Was so tired she was gonna decide this was too much for her and decide that she can't do it. My fiancé, the amazing woman that she is, said we're in this together. We got in contact with a lawyer. My ex agreed to cooperate with going to court for a paternity test. And yesterday we got the results back. I'm the father. This little girl is my daughter and have just missed 6 years of her life. And with my toxic ex I tried so hard to get away from, of all people. She came at us with that, "I told you so, and I better be ready to step up and be in their lives." She didn't even say my daughter's life, she said, their lives. My ex seemed really satisfied with this. For some reason it makes me uncomfortable. Before this we had talked about what would happen if it turned out I was the father. One thing we discussed was if I'd be a dad or just a father from a distance paying the child support I owe until she's a legal adult. My fiancé didn't feel right with the second one, and to be honest neither do I. Can't imagine not being involved in her life, and I would like to get to know her. It's the thought that I'd have to deal with my ex for the rest of my life though. Part of me doesn't feel like I can mentally handle that. Knowing how she was back then, what drove me to break up with her then make it difficult for her to contact me. Everything's hitting me all at once. I'm not sure what to do to process everything, on top of that know how to make sure to be a good father to this little girl. She's innocent in all this and I don't want to hurt her. You need way more advice than some place like this can give. Like, lawyer advice. It is entirely possible for you to be in your daughter's life with the bare minimum connection to your ex, but there is going to be some if you choose to go that route. You will need legal advice to navigate that, though, not randos on Reddit's advice. You can just meet your ex in a mutual location to trade off your daughter and keep the transactions between her brief. She only contacts you in regards to your daughter. Get a lawyer, get a custody agreement in place and set up child support. I'd suggest doing everything through the lawyers so she can't find a way to jerk you around. There are co-parenting apps you can use to communicate with your ex. Mandate the use of one in your custody arrangement. This will reduce non-childcare related contact and keep a record of your interactions. In addition to all the practical advice here, might I recommend getting into therapy? It will help you deal with this situation internally, but it will also be able to give you good tools to deal with your ex. I better be ready to step up and be in their lives. She didn't even say my daughter's life, she said, their lives. Yeah, no. Child support is obviously something you're going to have to get on, and you can continue to work with your lawyer, or get them to refer you to someone, on how you're going to manage visitation and custody. But you don't actually need to deal with her beyond what's absolutely necessary in coordinating those arrangements, and you can make it crystal clear that's how this is going to work any time she tries to push the boundaries. Get a lawyer involved. You only have to be involved with your child and the rest is not for you to deal with. Get a lawyer to draw up a custody arrangement and tell them your concerns about her behavior. This way you can stipulate everything down to having a parenting app for communication. I feel like you shouldn't owe any back child support. She knew you was the father. What if you didn't find out about your daughter until she was 16? Should you have to pay 16 years back child support when you was robbed of 16 years? 6 years was stolen from you. Why should you have to reimburse the mother for that? If she couldn't contact you, then child support could have found you. Mother has no excuse for not letting you know you have a child. My opinion is based on, I'm a father that raised my 3 kids when their mother ran off. And she owes $24,000 in child support. So I'm definitely for child support. F24, lost trust in my boyfriend, M26, of 6 years after traumatic birth. What now? I already had trauma relating to birth and pregnancy which boyfriend knew very well. We went through everything I wanted during birth, not lying on my back, rather have the baby in the hall than without him. Told him what I feared, mistreatment by staff, being alone. We both knew that a birthing woman can't do much for herself when being mistreated. We talked a lot about the moment and he wanted to be his best but he is a pushover. Told the hospital I need him because of trauma. When at home he left me alone and played League of Legends or slept while I timed my labor alone sleepless. When waking him asking for help he was annoyed. 4 minutes between labor. Asked him to call ambulance. He responded annoyed why I could have already done that. Did not AKS for being allowed to stay with me, COVID. Just as the pushover he is. Texting how I suffered had no food or water due to vomiting and not sleeping. He was there when he was explicitly allowed to for 2 hours a day. Birth lasted 83 hours. It was okay when he was there but I was mistreated by staff when he wasn't there. They hurt me and verbally abused me. He could do a thing due to COVID. And #X200B. He was allowed to attend the pushing. He came an hour after he was called finding me on my back. He did nothing to change this. Afterwards he told me he played LOL to say bye to his old life. His life did not really change. He still has no job and plays LOL all day. He wanted to sleep and took so long to prepare himself and gather strength for me. And #X200B. I understand that but I am so furious and hurt and all I mentally took home from this is that I will be left alone when in need of him. And #X200B. We talk all the time. I visit professionals to talk about this, but I can't find my trust in him. All my head is saying is that he had his opportunity and failed miserably. That there is no way of making this better because he only had this one chance and we cannot go through this once again. And #X200B. I love my boyfriend but it hurts to the point that I want to die. I don't know how to work through this. I don't even know where to start. How can I feel trust in him again? What can I change in my mind to be open for his tries to be a good father and boyfriend now? I try to work through the trauma, but I am at my wit's end. And #X200B. and #X200B. Too long did not read. BF, M26, of 6 years played lol and was sleeping while I, F24, had a traumatic birth losing trust in him. How can we work through this? Giving birth is terrifying and an 83-hour labor is dangerous. He absolutely let you down when you needed him most. No wonder you don't trust him. You told him how you feel. You're in therapy to overcome your very reasonable trauma and he's still doing it. How is he even remotely trustworthy? He sounds like you couldn't even trust him to care for his own child because of the value he places on disassociating instead of participating. I take it that while you're in therapy he's doing nothing to reflect on his own behavior? How long would it take him to notice if you moved out? Also, how long after that would it take him to give a shit? That's the father of your child, so when it comes to relationships, you'll always have one with him. However, I would have left him over this. You're a new mother, so I know you need the support from him right now, if you can get it, but he is unhinged and wrong for what he did. He knows that too and doesn't care. You don't discuss shit like that days prior relating to trauma and being uncomfortable, then when the time comes ignore it all. That's not right. That there is no way of making this better because he only had this one chance and we cannot go through this once again. All of your feelings are reasonable. What I would ask is, if there's no chance of making this better in your mind because it's already happened and you can't change the past, what do you want to do moving forward? Do you want to be with him? If so, try couples therapy with someone who specializes in these types of experiences. They can help you communicate these feelings to him, even if you already have, in a way that might tell you if the relationship is worth salvaging or not. If not, are you in a position to end the relationship and cut contact with him promptly unless it involves your child? You should do that if it's what you want. If that happened to me, I would leave and try to file for full custody. Your boyfriend has shown not only that is he the worst partner imaginable but that he is not remotely prepared for the responsibility of fatherhood. Let him pay child support and he can play all the lol that he wants to without you or his child in his life. You don't have to trust him. You shouldn't trust him. He's done nothing to show you he is worthy of it. Hello, and thank you for your submission. Please take a moment to review the rules listed in our sidebar. For further guidance, please see our wiki. This is a bot message. I cannot respond to any comments. Please modmail us with any questions. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message, compose, to =r, relationship_advice, if you have any questions or concerns. If you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, please reach out. You can find help at a national suicide prevention lifeline. USA. 18,2,738,255 U.S. crisis text line. 741,741 text home. United Kingdom. 116,123. Trans Lifeline. 877-565-8860. Others. Homie, there is no way that birth lasted 83 hours if you were having 4 minutes between contractions before you even left home. You sound insane.